Sup guys, Baneblade994 back again with another vlog basically. It's now early Friday, so one more day till 7th edition hits, and I thought, as I've got a bit of free time, I'd talk about some of the major changes we know are going to hit with 7th edition tomorrow. So I've got my list up on my screen, so I'll get started. The big one we've noticed is psychic powers. All of these have now been pretty much confirmed. We've got pictures from the new rule books, people we've got in warehouses, been looking on like Fate 212, Bell of Lost Souls, Bolter and Chainsaw, different places which have got reasonably reliable rumours, and some of these now have got pretty much confirmed. So psychic powers have changed drastically with this edition. It's now moved to a system more similar to fantasy, where instead of it being each psyker had, or still has but won't tomorrow, had warp charges equal to his mastery level, and that limited him to he could cast that number of spells for that turn. It now becomes a random dice roll plus mastery levels, so similar to the Winds of Magic from fantasy, where for fantasy you roll 2d6 and that's your magic dice for the turn, and the highest of the two is the dispel dice, and then you channel. For 7th edition 40k, it's going to be whoever's turn it currently is rolls a d6 and adds warp charges equal to the total mastery levels in his force. So if, using my armoured guard list, let's say I roll on average 3 or 4, go with 4, I then have 2 mastery level 2 psychers. I have 8 warp charges to use that in my turn. The opponent then gets, I don't know what the term is for, it's not dispel because that's fantasy, I'm guessing it's, I don't know, discharge or I don't know, something for blocks, anything anyway. And he gets the dice roll number of dice to stop spells. Now, to cast spells, it's not a case of a leadership check and then just automatically off if you pass. It's each power is going to have a warp charge level. So, for example, prescience for divination is 2, and then there's 1, 2, going up to 3, and I think there's a 4 somewhere, someone said, and I was looking through the disciplines earlier. But anyway, you've got the, take prescience as an example, it's got warp charge 2. You roll as many dice as you want to cast, and you need however many warp charge that power is, you need that many number of 4-ups on the dice roll. So let's say I had my psychic dice, power dice or whatever. If I say roll 4 at it, I'd reliably, with it being 50-50, I should get it off. The enemy then gets the chance, if he wants to, try to discharge to the power, whatever the term's going to be, where he rolls dice, a number of dice he chooses, and I think he has to get equal to, if I've understood it right, you have to get equal to the warp charge again, but you need 6s, and that gets modified to a 5 if you've got if the thing that's trying to stop it is a psyker, plus 1 if there's a higher mastery level than that unit. I'm guessing Space Wolves will have an effect with like the rune weapons, stopping it on a 4-up anyway. And then for the casting model, he increases his chance of getting successfuls by, I'm guessing, special rules when new codexes hit. And the main one I've thought of, the main one people are saying is, if a psyker takes powers from specifically one discipline, he knows that law in and out, so he gets a bonus to his casting. So it would be, you only need 3s to be, you need a certain number of 3s to be successful, so reducing the number of dice you have to throw at each spell. Which, I was doing a bit of math hammer, figuring out roughly what averages were. Generally, it's no more likely to. It's basically the same as what it was roughly. You're slightly less likely to get it off, but you're also slightly less likely for your opponent to stop it. I don't know. Or wait for Saturday and play, get a couple of games in with it, see how it goes. One of the other changes was the Perils of the Warp chart. Now, if you get double sixes when trying to cast, you get a Perils of the Warp, and then you roll on the chart 6 results. And it ranges from that guy immediately dies. Well, each one you take a leadership check. If you pass, everything's fine. He's just discharged the wild power of the warp and stuff safely without causing any damage. If he fails, depending which result you rolled, affects it differently. So the worst one is he dies and everyone you take D6 strength 6 AP2 hits or something. So that could be quite nasty for something, say librarian in a Terminator squad. To taking a wound, taking a strength 6 hit, which could be could be dangerous for Farseers, Spirit Seers, Premier Psychers. What else? I don't know, several actually. Those are the 3 I thought of anyway. Just because strength 6 will instant death and you don't get a save against it. Then if you've rolled a 6, if you fail, he takes a wound. If you pass, he's managed to channel the power into making it like a buff, which is like a 3-up invulnerable force weapon attacks and stuff like that. It's weird. I did have the chart, but I can't find it now. I've lost the link of websites. So that was psychic powers. So Perils, generally I can't see it being as bad anymore. Perils has actually got really good, because before it was just double ones was Perils double 6, and now it's just double 6, so you've halved the chance of getting, you've halved the number of results you need to Perils. Disciplines. There are the 5 basic disciplines there was, so divination, pyromancy, biomancy, telekinesis, telepathy, and then there's malefic demonology and sanatic demonology, which is like Grey Knights and demons. Demons is the one everyone's concerned about. Anyone could take it, but if you're not a demon, you get perils on any doubles. So let's say you're needing 4s and you get double 4, it's a perils. But some of the powers are a bit ridiculous, like summon a 10 strong unit of demons to sacrifice a model and get a squad of demons, or sacrifice a psychic and bring in a greater demon of your choice. So, oh no, my 1 wound Farseer just panicked and just went pop and brought in a bloodthirsty. I don't think a lot of people use it because it's annoying a lot of people, like fluff wise. It's like, why would a army like Grey Knights, well, I think Grey Knights specifically can't use malefic demonology, but any of the Space Marines got Imperial Psychers, Farseers and stuff who know to fear demons. Why would they suddenly use them as a weapon as a last resort? So I don't know. It's nasty, but I don't know. Again, have to see how it plays. The next big change was, I've noticed, which I'm liking the look of, is the vehicle damage chart. That's changed to the only way to one-shot a tank now, you need a 7+. So you're now needing AP2 or AP1 weapons to instant death a tank. Immediately, one-shot blow it up. It's gone to 1 to 3 is shaken, 4 is a stunned, 5 is a weapon destroyed, 6 is immobilized, and 7+ is the explosion, which has now made my armoured list all that little bit more survivable. It's not made a huge difference because generally, if anyone's bringing something dedicated, if they're going to deliberately try to one-hit kill a tank, it's going to be melter guns, it's going to be las cannon devastators, it's going to be lances, which are all AP2, so it's increasing the survivability of the tank, which I don't see a problem with. 5th edition tanks were pretty brutal because they were all really reasonably survivable. Then with 6th edition, hull points really knocked vehicles in general. Everyone suddenly went to more infantry-based lists. It was the death of dreads. 6th edition in particular killed walkers, I think, where every model was sticking a grenade to its face. It wasn't hitting on 6, it was now 4s. The whole point, so you could glance them to death pretty easily, where Venerable became a pointless upgrade other than for the ballistic skill 5. It was a bit depressing, but this is increasing the survivability. I haven't seen any changes to assaulting walkers, so dreadnoughts, sentinels, war walkers are still going to get munched in combat, but war walkers and sentinels are still pretty decent in shooting. So as long as you keep them at a distance, you should be all right, and you're now more survivable against the anti-tank. So, what else I've got on my list? Psychic powers, vehicles, Force Hog. There's been 3 major changes I've read so far for Force Organisation. Double Force Org is gone. Just completely out. It's no longer a thing. But you're not limited to the number of detachments now. As long as you bring a HQ and 2 troops for each detachment, primary detachment, which are all clumped into one mass, you can have as much as you want. So in theory, you could bring 3 Farseers, 6 minimal squads of Fire Warriors, and bring 9 Riptides. That'd be silly. That's a lot ridiculous points, but it's still possible, which is a bit. Unbound lists. It's one of those things. Everyone immediately read it and was like, "Oh, you can take whatever you want. Oh, the game's broken. You're going to see spam. You're going to see the game's ruined. 7th edition's killed 40k." The more you read about Unbound, it's for fluff players. It's you have to ask for permission. It's basically you organise a game saying, "I'll take you on. I'll challenge your army with my Unbound army." And if you have a Battleforged army, Battleforged army, which is the force being restricted to Force Org, you get bonuses like rerolling a Warlord trait, objectives secured, which means you can't have objectives denied to you late game. If you have a troop choice on that objective, it's captured. So there's ups and downs. If you're looking at it from a fluff player's way of looking at it, which was the way I immediately looked at it, it's great. You can start doing these specialised scenarios where you're not limited by I have to have a HQ and I have to be 2 troops. One list I was thinking was a Brotherhood of Heroes, which is, I think it was back in the 90s, there was a movie Marine list that came out where every Space Marine with toughness 5 had a 2-up armor save, ran, his bolt gun was the same stats as basically a heavy bolter. Basically, it was meant to be the Marines from the books. And with Unbound, I was like, I could make that in 7th edition. So the idea I had was a 5-man tactical squad with a chapter master representing the sergeant with a power fist, artificer armor, stormbolter to represent and then 4 captains, each meant to represent a basic marine from the books, which were tough as nails, can take any challenge kind of thing. So they've all got artificer armor. They've either got stormbolters, is it Primarch's Wrath, which was the big salvo 5 bolt gun basically, or combi weapons to represent special weapons in the squad. 2 captains with assault packs, which were to represent assault marines. This was all the Death Watch idea, so it's Death Watch squad. If you've ever read any of the Death Watch novels, each marine was specialised to a certain thing. So there was the assault marine, there was the devastator, there was the tech marine, and then there was the captain. I think, and the idea I had was take a chapter master, Terminator armor, Burning Blade, Shield Eternal, so it's he is what a captain is meant to represent kind of thing. That was the way I was looking at it. with the whole you have to ask for permission, it takes out the whole going to a pickup game and taking 6 or 8 nights. So I think it should be alright. If you want to play those type of games, you can. But if someone comes up and it's just like it's a pickup game at your local store, and a guy goes, "I'm playing Unbound," you just go, "If you don't want to play it, I'm not playing it." What else have we got? The 2 last points I've seen, which are changes which could affect it, is the ignores cover special rule, which you got from Town Mark Lights, Psychic Powers. I believe template weapons have. And the big one I've noticed is the Imperial Guard Wyvern is no longer just you get no cover save, it's now a -2 to your cover save. So guys lying down behind an Aegis, instead of getting a reducing, like gone to ground behind an Aegis who had a 2 cover save and you just ignored it, now have a 4 Jet bikes who have turbo boosted and got a 3 cover now have a 5 It has reduced the effectiveness of the Wyvern, sadly. It reduced the power of the Tau. Tau started to be pulled back now. It's not a huge change. It affects armies that were dedicated to him. So I was on the Facebook page for like 40k. For the Imperial Guard Facebook page, and there's a guy with 9 Wyverns. They aren't going to be anywhere near as they're still effective. They're still cheap. They're still throwing out a lot of blasts. They're still causing a lot of wounds. But against hordes, they're nowhere near as effective anymore, sadly. Which is a shame. Now he's got 9 of them. The last change I've noticed is change to Jink. Where before, bikes and jet bikes just got a Jink cover save. Now they have to do the same as the evasive maneuvers for flying monstrous creatures and the flyers, where you choose to Jink and get your cover save, but next turn you have to snap fire. You can only snap fire. So my mate isn't going to like it because I'm now rolling out Lehman Russes who are going to be, and I'm taking away saves, and he's going to be wanting his Raven Wing to be getting his 4 up, 3 up cover saves. So those are the major changes I've seen so far. If anyone's got any ones I've missed, comment them down below. And looking forward to 7th edition, see how it changes. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.